Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Card Talk, a podcast where we spend a little bit of time talking about cards from the Lord of the Rings, the living card games by Fantasy Flight Games. And my name is Dave Walsh.
And I am Grant Thompson, just along for the ride.
And today we're going to be talking about Sam Gamgee, the leadership hero, and his threat cost is worth 8. His stat line is consistent with 1 attack and 1 defense, and then he's got 3 big willpower points, and then he's got 3 hit points. And the special thing about Sam is his response, that when you engage an enemy with a higher engagement cost than your current threat, he readies, and then he gets +1 to all his stats, willpower, attack, and defense, until the end of the round, the total round. So I think he's a really awesome hero. But Grant, what do you have to say about him?
In all honesty, he's probably my favourite Hobbit hero. Definitely better than On the Doorstep Bilbo. Sam Gamgee is probably my favourite character one of my favourite characters in the entire Lord of the Rings series of books. Even just the way that he goes on, he's so stout of heart. He knows what's right and he's going to do it no matter what. He's flavour text. I'm going with him, and if any of those Black Riders try to stop him, they'll have Sam Gamgee to reckon with. And it's like, you know what? I'd be scared of him if I saw it.
And it's funny because I think his card art kind of reflects all the different kind of aspects of who he is. And when he develops as a character, you almost get the sense that he's kind of this innocent gardener, kind of happy-go-lucky sort of guy that's just kind of helping out his friend and employer there, Frodo Baggins. But, when you look at his card art, and he's got the scars on the forehead, and he's holding the sword, but yet he's still dressed in kind of his Shire garb, and his carrying the backpack. Like, I think that embodies all that Sam is.
Yeah, and he forgot he's got a frying pan just hanging off the edge of his backpack there.
Right. I couldn't figure out which sphere that belonged to, so I just left it alone.
That's a frying pan sphere, man.
Right. The food sphere.
That's where he's in Moria, just whacking them with his frying pan.
Right. And I guess that just symbolizes his kind of innocence to the whole thing. I mean, he understands the gravity, but he also maintains his innocence through the whole thing. And I would say, and we're talking more about the canon behind Sam, but I think that's really why Frodo was able to get rid of the ring. It didn't really have anything to do with Frodo. Well, it had a lot to do with Frodo, but I think his friendship with Sam and who Sam was really why the ring ended up getting destroyed.
Yeah, I'd agree with most of what you're saying there. I think the main reason he kept his innocence is because of the fact that he's so stout of knowing what's right. And even in the face of great peril, in the lands of Mordor, he managed to help Frodo destroy the ring. He's probably one of the only characters that doesn't show corruption to the ring. Gandalf told Frodo not to tempt him, and went all dark on both Frodo and Bilbo, saying that he cannot take the ring, even though he would desire to do great good, but through him it would do great evil. Galadriel was tempted to take the ring when Frodo offered it to her, because she had all that big movie scene where she went dark as dawn.
Right.
Through it all, Sam's been with Frodo in constant close capacity to the ring, yet he still hasn't had the corruption to the ring, is an amazing thing. He's still probably, even on stats, he's still the best Hobbit for stats for price.
Right.
I mean, he's one of the highest hit points for Hobbits at 3 hit points.
Right, he's definitely. I mean, he's tied with all of those, all the saga hobbits.
Yeah, and he's got probably the strongest willpower out of all the hobbits as well.
Right, and that's true too. He doesn't have. Right.
And that's not including his ability to ready when exhaust and gain +1 to all his stats.
Right. And that's what I wanted to get into, is that, when you think about building a deck around a character, Sam is the hero that you build a deck around. It may be a Hobbit deck, but you build a deck around making sure that Sam gets buff, I think. And I think that ability is great because when you think of Hobbit attachments and you're thinking of fast hitch, you don't have to include a fast hitch because you can quest and then engage and then he readies. So you can put the fast hitch on a different character because fast hitch can go on any Hobbit character. So you can, fast hitch Pippin and Merry, your other two heroes or whatever your other two heroes are. And then even fast hitch Rosie so that you can get the buff for whatever stat you want.
My.
Right. And, while Sam gets nervous that Rosie has a fast hitch on him, it's, you can use those Hobbit attachments in other places. I always love running Boots of Erebor in my Hobbit decks. I don't need to necessarily think about putting it on Sam right away, although I usually do because, I want to make sure that I have a Hobbit that can withstand a sudden attack of something. I think of, Bill the Pony is becomes free with Sam being in play, and that gives every Hobbit a +1 hit point. I think of Halfling Determination tactics. I think of Friend of Friends. Hobbit Cloak I run. All of these cards go well in a Hobbit deck, no joke, but they make Sam comparable to I want to say a normal hero, but a hero of men and elves and dwarves. You can very, very quickly, with just about anything, make Sam one of the, if not the most powerful character in the game, and you're innately able to use him for two phases because you're probably running a deck with low threat to begin with. So you can optionally engage something and ready him. So I don't know of any other hero that matches what I think Sam can bring to the game.
Perfect combination for Sam is Sam, Hobbit Cloak, Friend of Friends. Pair that up with Frodo for Friend of Friends, because that's what they are, and it's very thematic.
Right.
That's Sam with 4 willpower without having to ready, and 4 hit points. Add Bill the Pony there's 5 hit points for Sam.
Right. And you're not even trying. That's the thing, is that all of those cards that go on to him are cards that you'd be happy if you got one out and help buff him, but then when you get other ones out, it's okay. And you don't even have to do anything to his willpower because that's a high willpower by any comparison. You're looking at 3 willpower. You're not what are you doing?
And with Hobbit Cloak and his natural defense, he gains an extra defense point or 2 defense points, so that puts him at 4 defense.
Right.
And then he's palpable as, say, Baragond in defending. He's almost as good as he is as good as Glorfindel in questing.
Right.
And it's hang on a minute, this little hobbit is doing more work than you guys. What are you doing? Pull your fingers out.
And I was playing this weekend, and I think we talked about this off camera a little bit, but I was playing with my buddy this weekend, and we were going through the Black Riders. Initially, when we were going through the campaign, he was like, "Oh, you're bringing your hobbits through the campaign?" And then by the second or third scenario, he was saying to me that, wow, those hobbits can get really tough really quick, and there's a lot of things that you can do with them, and it changes all the time. And so while you get into a habit of always putting Hobbit Cloak on Sam, that doesn't mean that you can't put Hobbit Cloak on Frodo, or you can't put it on some other character, or if you want to attack with Sam, you can put the dagger on him, and so it's just, there's so many options with a Hobbit deck, or with Sam, and running a Hobbit deck, that it's stupid, practically.
Like I say, Sam for me is probably one of my favourite characters out the entire thing. Well, Sam, Faramir, Glorfindel are three of my most favourite characters out of the entire lore of Lord of the Rings.
I mean, is there more to talk about? I mean, I could talk about all the cards to put on him. Song of Hope. You can do that. Fireside Song. You can use parting gifts if you're trying to move resources around because he's in the leadership sphere. There's all sorts of options with Sam that I just love. You can ring mail some of the non-traditional Hobbit attachments. I don't know. It's like the list goes on and on for me. Okay, so if I'm going to ring Sam, scale 1 to 10, where 1 is the one card to rule them all, and 10 is the worst card in the game, I think Sam is my first one that I'm going to give. I think that he is just an all-around character, low threat. There's so many options that you can do. His ability is crazy. He is reflective of who I think that Sam is in the lore of the game. His card art is spot on for what I imagine him to be. I can't think of a downside of Sam that makes him not worthy of a 1. How about you, Grant?
And mate, you just stole it away from us. I was going to say pretty much the exact same thing and give him the exact same rating. But you know what? Sam is a 1. He is the first one, and I thought I'd never come to say that there is one hero to rule them all. But Sam has proved his worth. He's shown his quality. Just like Faramir did in Return of the King, Sam's done it here today. He is one of the best heroes, and because the Hobbit sphere is continuing to expand, I can only see him getting better and better, and then, oh my god, I just want to hide. And join us next time where we discuss Thalin from the tactics sphere of the core set.